Hi there, everyone. This is Dr. Geneva coming back to you again. You know how I just love bringing you vibrant women and peeking in and listening to their strategies on how they look good, feel good, and do good. And today, I just want to tell you, I had a conversation with this sister about a month or so ago on my podcast, Ignite to Impact. And by the way, if you haven't listened to my podcast, any of them, you need to go to Ignite to Impact. That's Ignite, the number 2, impact.com. And you can hear over 100 episodes. But anyway, I had this fabulous conversation with this awesome sister, and I wanted to bring her back onto this Vibrant Life series that I'm doing, where I'm talking to women who I think just exude vibrancy. And we can learn so much from them on how to look good, feel good, and do good. Because you know, that's what I believe makes up a vibrant life. So I'm talking about Ola Jackson, and she's right here with me. How you doing, darling?
Hi, thank you for all this energy that you have. Unbelievable. And I'm just staring at your face. I have to get your secret, honey.
Okay. Well, it's from knowing and connecting with people like you. Because, you know, that's one of the secrets about, you know, being and staying vibrant is keeping the connections and the relationships. But let's start off first, Ola, with you sharing who you are, your story, because, you know, I know you, but let's let all our listeners and viewers find out about it.
Well, I am the publisher of a magazine called Onyx Woman that started completely by what I felt was a necessity. And it started because I was out trying to help other women make a transition from welfare to work. Now, standing up in front of them did not work. And so I had this clever idea that I was going to create my own newsletter. Mm-hmm. And that because they listen to me, they can just take the information home and at their leisure, just read the tips and advice that I had. And that newsletter turned into a full-blown magazine. Mm-hmm. It was on the newsstands next to Essence and Black Enterprise, all because I said that I was going to try to help these women. And I didn't complain about them, didn't judge them. I said, I'm going to do something for them. Mm-hmm. And that magazine just propelled into so many other things, workshops, networking events, sellout conferences, talk shows. It's just an idea that, as you say, you can think about it, but doing it, executing it is what makes you vibrant.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's right. Oh, I just thought, so if we were reading the magazine now, I mean, if we were flipping through it, what would we see?
You would see a bunch of inspirational women who are motivating, who can motivate you when you hit that stunt when you're stuck. Women who push forward, women who have a story to tell, and they're transparent about letting you know you can do it and helping you understand even when you have a setback. Mm-hmm. That it's a setback. And when you fall down, if you can look up, you can get it. It's constantly inspiring you. And as women, I don't care how successful we are, we all hit a barrier. We all have obstacles. But it's something when someone else is telling their story and say, I've been there, girl. Mm-hmm. I have been there. You can do it. Or if you don't think you can, don't quit. Take a detour. Mm-hmm. And we need that. I don't care who you are and what level you've reached. You need somebody to pull you, to push you, and to walk beside you. And you will see those women telling their stories, just how you can do it.
Yes, stories. Those stories of inspiration, I think, are always so important. Now, you have a particular perspective on what a vibrant life is. So why don't we start there? You know, I do believe that even though we all nod when we say vibrant or vibrancy, we all nod, we want it. But I do believe that everyone's definition of it is what works for them, for their own uniqueness. But so what's your view on a vibrant life?
A level of confidence that says, I can do it. It is being a leader, not following everyone else. And unfortunately, you don't usually get that as you get older. And they say youth is way for young people. But when you get a certain age, when you don't care anymore what people think, you wear what you want to wear, and you say what you want to say, but you know when to say it, as well as know how to say it. It's a certain amount of confidence that I think only age brings. And that is why I stopped with our hard copy edition. I felt I was a woman who was evolving.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, so now that you don't have the hard copy anymore, where are you in your life? Mm-hmm. And I began to ask myself the same question that most women who are 50 and over are asking, what about me? Mm-hmm. And so I started this blog called Your Stylish Ways. Mm-hmm. And it was different because it infuses self-care with style. We don't just talk about shoes. We ask you to address your feet issues. We don't just talk about fashionable glasses. We tell you to go get your eyes checked. So we combine the two, the style that you love with the self-care that you need. And then we grew into this awesome gathering of 50-plus women called At My Age. And it's called At My Age because women are always saying, I can't start that business at my age. I can't travel at my age. I can't do this at my age. And we said, oh, yes, you can. Looking forward is because we're living our life in stages.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the next stage that we're in.
Okay.
So we aging, but it is a stage. So we have this gathering of 40-plus women with common interests and common resources that we need to move on at that next level of our lives.
Okay, so our audio went in and out just a little bit, so I want to just continue on this vein in terms of women what they're saying, women who are at 50, approaching 50, becoming 50, or 50 plus. They're already there. And so many of them are saying that you've talked with, you've been with, they're saying, well, at this age,
yes.
So X,
right.
Y, Z. But you're saying, no, it's just the opposite.
Because we have to, first of all, remove the fears.
Okay.
Because one of the things about a lot of time mortality. And so therefore, women are saying, I'm afraid of my finances.
Okay.
I'm afraid of the home. I'm afraid of what's going to happen to me if I get sick. And so we first have to remove those fears out of the way so we can begin to continue to live our life. We're not dead yet. We are too young to be. Mm-hmm. And so they're like traveling, and we have advice on how to do it because also our finances are always an issue. So everything we talk about, we infuse some way, somehow, on how you can do it and still budget. Mm-hmm. So those fears, and I think those fears are expected. We all fear. Now, what's going to happen to us? Because we see how our seniors are treated. So we wonder, is that going to be the same thing for us? So how can we live the fullest lives the time that we have left?
Mm-hmm. So one of the things that you hear women who are 50 plus say that they can be a little fearful about the future, fearful about finances, concerned, anxious about things like that, which affects how they travel.
Right. Relationships, we still have people in their 50s who are looking for jobs. Everyone's not retiring at 62, 65.
Right.
So, trying to find employment. So we address all those issues. And we realize it's really important that we also understand that this is a time that we really cling to family and friends. We need our friends. We have friends who lose their husbands, friends who have to carry the financial burden because a husband may not be healthy. Children or grandchildren who need us. still an overwhelming experience. And we have to understand that we have to not take on so much that we're so overwhelmed. So it is a time to say that self-care isn't selfish. And you can say, what about me? What about me? Why don't I go for a little vacation? Why don't I go out to lunch by myself? Why don't I go buy that bright red lipstick and walk in the church with an attitude? And it's just the things you didn't do before, do it now. There's nothing worse than aging and looking back, oh, if only I would have done that. But just
having that regret is not cool. So I think you're talking about looking at the future, living now with hope and optimism and taking on things. So what are some of the strategies? How do women do that? How do they, capture their vibrancy? How do they, strike out and continue to do these things and lose the fear?
First, you must commit to executing what you have learned. It's one thing to get hyped up and say, yes, I'm going to take that vacation. But the person who is successful, it's like anything else. That person who is successful is the person who initiates it. Initiate the action. I'm going to go on that group cruise. I'm going to go out by myself and sit and have lunch. But it's like anything. You have to commit. That's the first step, to commit. When I started my magazine, I remember someone saying to me, I've always wanted to start a magazine. Now, what's the difference between me and that person? I executed it. And I'm seeing too much of women they may decide to start a blog, do one blog, and it's over. No. You have to understand, even at our age, it is still a process. You must understand that. It's not microwave. So when you say, I'm going to change my life, you have to change your mindset first.
Okay. Yes.
If you do the same thing in the same way, you get the same results. It is time to look for different results and different outcomes only when you commit. And it's great when you commit and you have other people. When you have that sister friend, go out there with you. And so that's why we have our gatherings. So we have to understand, I understood as I got older that I need my friends. I didn't think I needed them. But as I aged, and I realized they need me. And I need them. Together, we can get out here and do our thing.
Yes. Oh, I just can't tell you how much I think you right on point with that. I know that, I I started my blog at 68. So now I blog. I've got over 120 episodes. My new book, Justice on the Jersey Shore, will be released April 24th. And as you know, I just won the Miss Black Fit and Fine beauty pageant for women over 50. So I just say that to say to anyone who's listening, and I'm just agreeing with you, Ola, we can do whatever we want to do at any age. I think the possibilities are endless.
And you didn't say you're too old to write a book. You didn't say that. You never said, I'm too old to write a book. No, you did not say, I'm too old to be the Miss Fabulous anything. You didn't. Many women get to a certain age and they settle in.
Yes.
You're out here looking. We have to evolve. We have to nurture the growth.
Right. But I'm not going to say that I wasn't scared of a lot of things that I ended up or stepped out there and did. I was fearful of walking across the stage in a beauty pageant, doing a talent, having all those folk look at and judge. But, I didn't want to look back. That's probably what propelled me more than anything. I didn't want to look back and regret.
Right.
Because this life is, we go once around. It isn't a dress rehearsal.
No,
And
no.
so there are things that, they always talk about bucket list and etc. I don't know if it was a bucket list or not. Okay. But I don't want to regret. I want to, continue to live vibrantly. I want to find out those ways to do. And it's been tough. And I love you how you say about the whole thing about a mindset and commitment.
The shift, right?
Yeah, and
because you're going to have fear. We are not telling them that you will not be fearful. I am always afraid. When I start something, but I don't see it as an issue for me to not do what I want to do. I'd rather put that burning fire out in my soul and know that I did it than to let fear be the issue that I didn't do. Right now, I have very little regret because I just do it. A friend of mine said to me, Ola, I admire you because you're not afraid to make a fool out of yourself. Was that an insult? But that was okay because I'd rather make a fool of myself and try something and then not do it. And that's the thing, because failure is a part of success.
Yes, absolutely. And you talked about, when we were talking about steps, what kind of steps do you take to create these next moves? And you identified one as commitment. You be committed to the action for taking those steps. What are some other strategies that you would advise women who are 50 plus and looking at their next chapter?
And you have to focus. It is so easy. The next step, you've got to focus. You cannot be distracted. It's easy to get distracted. Don't start another thing until you finish this one here.
Okay.
Because people are starters. It's easy to start. We've all started 100 diets. It's easy to start. But when you stay to the end, that's a part of it. If something can happen with somebody will say, oh, let's do this, let's do that. No.
Okay, so Ola, we're having problems with our audio. We lost you. Yeah, so while Ola is reconnecting with her audio, just some great advice. We've been talking about what steps women can take to kind of figure out their next steps. And Ola is suggesting one is commitment, be committed to that action to do it. Secondly, focus, try not to get distracted, start something and finish it. And, a lot of these things, Ola, too, you're back. Good, I'm glad. A lot of these things too, Ola, I talk about and give strategies to women in my Vibrant Life Blueprint. And, I really think this whole point that you're making about staying focused, and I hear that as setting goals, keeping goals, making goals happen. But, in my blueprint, I take folk through a step-by-step way process to stay focused, to imagine and create what it is that you see yourself becoming or being, to reimagine yourself and then putting it into place. What do you think about that vision and goals?
Oh my, everything starts with a vision.
Yeah.
Everything. The chair you're sitting in, the curtains behind you, everything starts with a vision. but you also have to have a plan.
Yes.
I can barely plan to go out to the grocery store. I have to have my list. I am a list maker. You have to have a plan.
Yes.
If you don't, what's the saying? If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail.
Yes. Yes.
I think that's what people don't want to do, because we're in this microwave society. Write down your plan. It could be one page.
Oh, yes.
I tell people for a business plan, if you don't want to do that, have a business model. Take 3 pages. These are the colors of my brand. This is the name. This is my trademark. This is my copyright. This is that. Everything has to have a plan. Please don't refuse to do it. That shows your level of commitment when you're willing to have a plan. And by all means, what is your goal? What is the goal? It could be a tiny goal. Doesn't have to be big, because if it's too big, you may get overwhelmed thinking about all the processes to get there. So if you have a small goal, there are times when I say, I'm going to lose 2 pounds.
Yes.
And I might lose 3 pounds. But those 20 pounds.
That's right.
So it makes it doable,
So
because you have to,
the bite-sized pieces.
Yeah, in little pieces. If you see a big map, you're like, oh my God, I gotta go all this. If you see yourself getting down the street, you're good.
That's
because
right.
Once you get around a block.
That's
right.
Right.
Down a block, you do it. So find out what works for you, your own learning style, and how you got your own DNA. You can't do what she's doing and how she's doing it.
Yes.
What works for you?
Absolutely. And, again, I think that goes back to what I believe is the uniqueness that each of us has as we define how we want to live or how we want to do our vibrant life. But there also are some common steps and some, some ways and some strategies that in fact can help us be successful. Let's talk a little bit about self-care. So again, you talk to hundreds of women who are 50 plus, who are looking at their next moves, looking at the next chapters in their lives, and perhaps they're a little unsure or uncertain about what to do, how to do it, but they know they aren't done yet. So they want to create these plans, have this vision, create these plans. As they go along the way, where does self-care fit in?
I think that self-care is the foundation of everything about you.
Okay.
Because if you don't have your health, what difference does a successful business, what does it have to do with anything? If you don't have your health, first, understand clearly that you deserve it. You must understand, because you're always trying to make somebody else happy. And sometimes we learn that they don't appreciate it anyway sometimes. And then we get all kicked off, don't want to speak to them no more. But you have to make life self-care. And understand one thing that's very important. It's a lifestyle. If you don't make it a lifestyle, then you're going to fall off. For example, I started working out regularly maybe 6 years ago, 1 day a week. The next week, 2 days a week. The next thing you know, I did 30 days straight. To this very day, I get about 4 or 5 days in per week. I need the mental clarity for the good and the bad things that may happen. I need to know who to bring in my life. I need to have the strength to put people out of my life. That's a part of my self-care. I thank God I'm very healthy. I keep thinking something's going to happen. How did I make it to close to 60? I'm on 1 medication. But it was taking charge of the most important thing. My husband works in a hospital. And I tell you, when he comes home, it makes me just think how lucky I am that I'm not some of those people. I only was in the hospital to have a child. That was basically it. Women first know that you deserve it. Also understand that saying no is a part of your self-care.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love it. Yes. That you deserve self-care, one. And secondly, saying no. And people are always asking, particularly women, how do you say no? How do you learn to say no? And you are saying that it's part of your self-care.
And it's the shortest word in the dictionary other than I. Okay?
Okay.
And people, out of a habit, the more you give, the more they take. We teach people how to treat us, and they learn very well, don't they?
Yes.
They why don't I just call Ola?
Yes.
Why don't I just, so we have to say no, and we have to take time to ourselves. I always say, start every day by doing something for yourself. Right. If it's 3 minutes of meditation, if you want to stretch or something, don't go through another day. Mm-hmm. When you have done stuff for your boss, for your kids, the grandkids, the neighbor, the church, and you haven't even went out and put on your favorite lipstick. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No wonder there's so much anxiety in the world.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I couldn't agree with you more. That I think, again, as you and I have talked, self-care ain't selfish. Mm-hmm. It's something that should be part of your daily, regular routine. And it involves not just the physical, but the mental, emotional, psychological, all of those areas are in fact self-care. So saying no, as well as getting a massage, they're all part of self-care.
I took some time. I got an award in Philadelphia on Sunday, but what I did was I flew to Philadelphia, stayed in the hotel by myself for 2 days.
Uh-huh.
I did some work, didn't take any calls. I thought, I should do this more often. Uh-huh. I got so done. I was just so focused. And it was just something, why haven't I done this before? I deserve this because we're so stressed. Anxiety and depression in older women. And what I didn't understand before was suicide in older women is so high. Because women are also can be lonely.
Yes.
We don't discuss being lonely. Just because you have 50 people around you doesn't mean that you're not lonely because you have some thoughts. You're looking at your past, worried about your future, and thinking about your present. And all of this is coming at you. And we don't want to bother our mothers with this. Mm-hmm. We don't want to let our friends know that we're not happy and that something's going on. I had interviewed someone, and that's what they said. I didn't want anybody to know. I had a conference. She said, Ola, I needed to be needed. I said, what? I said, you answered something for me because I have a mother who just keeps giving and giving. And then it dawned on me that my mother, she needs somebody to need her because she's so guilty. She had her first child at 14, domestic violence, had 6 kids. We were sleeping in one room for a long time. And she had so many regrets that she wanted to give and give and give to make up for it. Uh-huh. So that was, she said, Ola, I needed to be needed. That's why I kept helping people and letting them misuse me because even though they did that, they still needed me, at least I thought. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to cry. I was trying to ponder over that, and she answered the questions of when we come together and tell our truth about our pain, childhood trauma, people are dying, not resolving and confronting the childhood trauma. And it's manifesting in other ways. Mm-hmm. And we're old, and we're mature now, and we can speak up now. Because some people are taking that.
Yeah, and I think it's so, I think you started talking, when we first opened the interview, you were talking about when you get to a certain age, you, particularly as a woman, you can say, easily, hey, listen, I can find my voice more. I can find my voice. I can use my voice. I don't, I don't care about things like I used to. There's, I can find those things that have more meaning. And so, this is the time for us to find those truths, to tell those truths. And I think to get in and do all the things that we wish we had done or dreamed about, or I've always wanted to,
I've always wanted to.
Yes. Yes. And
that was a thing.
I'm sorry?
I used to think that older people were sassy and smart mouth.
Uh-huh.
But I know, there's a time. they don't have a lot to lose. They don't care. They're going to tell you what they think. So I don't think that anymore. That, oh, God, isn't she a smarty? But no, that's not it. They're just like, I don't care anymore.
Well, and I think a lot of it has to do with, some of it I think is this acceptance, realization of what you have that you can control or whatnot. I also think a part of it is finding your meaning, your place, your deeper sense of purpose, and wanting to do that and care about that a lot.
The things you hated, you may love today.
Yes.
I used to hate my name. Growing up, I hated my name. Everybody was Debbie and Kim and Barbara, and I would go. Today, I love it.
That's right. Well, Ola, let me say this. I certainly have enjoyed talking with you again. You'll have to come on, and I want to, again, when we talk, I really like to dive real deep into, I think I might call it like conversations that women over 50 have. What are they? Because they tell you their thoughts, their secrets, they whisper those things to you, and you know about them, and with your magazine and your blog and all you're doing. I just love it. And so I want to continue the conversation. And I love how you talk about matching the, is it the self-care with the style?
Yes. Yes.
Tell me about shoes and taking care of your feet. Right. Oh. So you can get them fine looking shoes, but you also want women to take care of their feet.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So we're going to come back.
Okay. Thank you for having me. That's yourstylishways.com.
Oh, say it one more time, Ola.
Yourstylishways.com.
Well, you heard it. You heard it here. Yourstylishways.com. And that's brought to you by Ola Jackson. And I'm so delighted that Ola joined us along with other vibrant women who want to really share their tips and secrets and successes with you, particularly if you're trying to figure out your next chapter. Perhaps you're uncertain about what your next move should be. You're not done yet, but you want to figure out how to make that happen. Join me at Dr. Geneva Speaks. As I told you, as I've shared with you before, I do have this step-by-step process. It's called the Vibrant Life Blueprint, and it takes you through answering many of these questions, establishing a vision for yourself, activating your goals, finding your influence, and most importantly, the best self-care regimen you could ever find. All of that's in the blueprint. And so, I'm just delighted to have this time with you as we learn how to be even more vibrant. Thank you. Bye-bye.